I probably shouldn't be here. I already pretended to disappear like Bilbo Baggins. Some people say that Warsmash received a cease and desist notice. Other people say it was fake. If you want to know YouTube's opinion on this, YouTube always has something to say.
Same story, different versions, and all are true.
That's what YouTube is for, right here, is to tell you the truth. So, that's, YouTube is YouTube. But, let's talk about Warsmash. What if we talk about the idea that what if Warsmash is a hoax? Think about it. What if Warsmash is a hoax? Are you bothered that maybe this thing would be shut down? Does that trouble you? If that does trouble you, I want to ask you about your life decisions. In particular, what is the problem that you are trying to solve? What do you think Warsmash is? What do you want that you think maybe someone is trying to take away? And I would like to talk about that. And I think that's why it might be valuable for you to think about the possibility that Warsmash is a hoax. Not the Warsmash that I have. I wrote some code, I've executed that code, and I've published YouTube videos of that code. That's not a hoax. But what if what you believe Warsmash to be, like what if that word, that name, and what it comes to mean in your life, what if that's a hoax? Think about it. What do you want to believe? What do you want? Are you a Warcraft 3 modder? Are you somebody who just watches me and my antics on YouTube? What do you want? What do you want? And if you start from that question, you can get to a pretty good answer. Think about it. So, what is the answer to that question? What do you want? And think about what do I want? I've had to ask myself that many times while writing Warsmash. What do I really want? And by and large, while investigating that, while asking that question, I think what I have found is that the answer is different for me than it is for a lot of people. And that's really interesting, okay? Because that points out a good reason why Warsmash might be a hoax to you. What you want out of it might be a hoax, even if it's not to me. And I think one of the best things that we could highlight to talk about that is why people enjoy Warcraft 3. If you're watching a video of me talk about Warsmash, you're watching a video of me talk about something, this idea of a more open version of Warcraft 3, something that's open source, where people can customize it, create things with it, create cool things, you're probably thinking to yourself that that would be a good future. A future where all the Warcraft 3 fans can make maps and this other sort of stuff, and it's sort of without that frustrating taint of Blizzard Entertainment's desire to profit off of the franchise, the desire to sort of be in charge, and sort of emphasize that you can make stuff in Warcraft World Editor, but it has to be within their rules. You can't just break the editor and add 3x3 items in the inventory instead of 2x3, or like change what it means to be the game in some way. And so if you're one of those people that you want the elevated, the better Warcraft 3, let's have a newsflash for a moment. Okay, every video that I have ever uploaded of me playing Warsmash involved me playing a map file that I created in Blizzard's World Editor. That is a violation of their terms of service, and if you want to stay within the bounds of their terms of service, you should not do that. Okay, so if you want something like that, you want to just expand on Warcraft 3, you want to make a better Warcraft 3, the way to do it is to make Blizzard do it, to enhance the official game, because there will not probably be a future in which you have like a legally supported Warcraft 3 game plus better, unless Blizzard makes the game better. Okay, so that's one thing to think about with maybe why Warsmash might be a hoax in your life. But another thing to think about would be people who want something even more open-ended than that. Some people want to make a real-time strategy game. They want to do that, and they want to have no part of Blizzard in that. Maybe they want to take their Warcraft map that they thought was really cool, and they want to build that again outside of Warcraft or like outside of Blizzard, and to sort of play that Warcraft map, play its idea without actually playing the original thing, so that Blizzard doesn't own it. Make their own game. Some people do that, and I think like some of the tower defense games have done that. Dota became like Dota 2. It became its own game. They make their own game. So some people want an outlet to make their own game. And you know what I never did with Warsmash? I never made a Warsmash map editor. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. And that is stupid if my goal was to serve you a game building engine. Right? It is kind of a hoax. Like, how stupid is that? If you want to make your own game, and you want to draw your own map and your own engine and make your own strategy game, download an existing game engine. Why the heck would you want to go to me for that? That's totally unreasonable. There are systems out there already for making games, and some people might say, well, maybe my take on the Warcraft 3 style as its own game engine would be better than the existing game engines on the market. Maybe, but I'm really skeptical. I have not gone out of my way to look at what game engines are out there, to look at what other people are doing, and to determine, no, that's not what I want to do. I literally just started making my own thing because I can, and it entertains me. And so I was making like that vision of what I want. But if you want to make something, you should make what you want. And when someone says, maybe this project was shut down, maybe it wasn't, who knows? People don't, information seems pretty inconsistent. The point there to take away is that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter if you want to make your own game. You know why? Because you can still make your own game. Everybody can make their own game. That's what we can do with computers. We have programmable computers. You can tell it to do something. You can render stuff. Do you know how Warsmash really works? Do you understand that? A lot of people might not get this. In Warsmash, there is something called a model instance. And I didn't even invent this. I copied it off of Ghost Wolf. Some people have heard me talk about that. There's this guy, Ghost Wolf. He made like a JavaScript engine kind of thing. I started off with a copy of that, ported to Java. So I had to think through it all. I forced myself to kind of learn it all by writing in Java and not JavaScript. If you look those up, those are completely different languages. But nevertheless, this thing that he created is capable of rendering stuff. And if you look at these render groups and you look at the batch group here, whatever, ultimately what this ends up doing is calling to some geoset.render function, and ultimately that function calls GLDrawElements. GLDrawElements is a function in the computer's graphics card, OpenGL API drivers, and there's a similar function with a different name for Microsoft's DirectX. And this function draws triangles in 3 dimensions. You give it an array of points, and it draws them. Okay, and that is fundamentally what I was actually doing. I was drawing triangles. People think, oh, this looks like some kind of Warcraft 3 thing. If I go in here, and I might have to change one of my config files from something I was doing the other day, but if I rename this config file to some other one I was working on here, and we'll bring back this one. This is a good config file right here. And then I click go on this thing. Look at this. You know what? That's a lot of triangles that we're about to see. Wait for it. Wait for it. Do you see that? That's a lot of triangles. Okay, it is a lot of triangles. But if I go in there, and I don't even know if this is really going to work, but if I go in there and I tell it to draw lines instead, you know what the graphics card is going to do? It's going to be made of lines. How about that? Now, how about that? Now it's made of lines. Okay, on a fundamental level, this is just a function that tells the graphics card to draw things. That's all it is. And you know, you can go a long way with that. Do you know how many times I call this same function telling my graphics card to draw things? Look at this. Look at all these things I'm telling the graphics card to draw. Let's pick a map and play it. What am I going to do? Play as the undead? What does that even mean? Let's try it. It takes a little while to load. And you might be wondering, why is that? That's because my code is hacked together garbage. Why do I care how long it takes to load? Anyway, look at these guys. You know, they're made of lines now. I replaced the fundamental function with lines. And if you build one of them, so my point is, this code is just a linear algebra toy and a rendering program. It's just drawing lines. And you can do that too. Okay, you can do that too. You just gotta call this function, draw elements. And you might think to yourself, well, which lines do you draw? But to be honest, it's all made up. Just make that up. So that's one thing you could do. You're probably thinking to yourself, how do the lines move? How do the lines move, dude? Like, what makes them move to different places? Well, and so to be honest, that's based on the idea that this thing has sort of like multiple instances of it. So remember when I had 3 little acolytes walking around? Those 3 little acolytes are the same data loaded 3 times. Each time, it's called a model instance, whereas the idea of an acolyte is just called a model. Okay, the model instance, the model instance literally has this like update nodes that it does, and what this does is he has his arms and his legs as these little just links of memory in a computer, in a linear computer memory, and it figures out basically what is that going to look like with the translation, the rotation, and the scaling of this node. And then it says, okay, based on the translation, rotation, and scaling, go ahead and recompute the combined form of that, which it takes a little bit of linear algebra. It does. And to be honest, I don't want to think about it all. Most of this, I just copied it off of Ghost Wolf, because this is the really annoying part. Okay, if you sat here and you derived, wait a minute, if I have a rotation and a point in space and an XYZ scale on that point in space, how do I figure out a mathematical matrix to put anything into that same coordinate space, to do a linear transform of the linear subspace of what it used to be into those rotations, into those translations, into those scaling. And that matrix that represents that transform can be made in a single function, just based on rotation, translation, scaling, and like a pivot, like the center of where that is. We compute that matrix, and the math for this, it's really involved. I couldn't explain it in one video. It would be a waste of your time and a waste of my time. But you can look it up online. These things are public information. Nobody owns this. Nobody is going to cease and desist math. It's not going to happen. Okay, it can't happen. It's not possible. Okay, people will keep doing math. Okay, they're not stupid. So that's just what they're gonna do. You know what would happen if I go in here and I change the math and I just put X in every single one of these? Do you know what's gonna go wrong? It's gonna go crazy. Okay, and so obviously there's points where the math is important. Oh, it didn't even go crazy. Well, that's fun actually. You know why it didn't go crazy? I bet it didn't go crazy because most of what was on the screen just there didn't move that much. What if I make each of these X times 100, X times 1,000, X times 999? Okay, if you mess up the numbers, okay, it's not gonna work the same. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. I messed up the numbers. Okay, you can go in there and you can change what it means to compute where something is and make it compute it wrong. Okay, that's math. Let me by the way, let me put this one back so I don't forget here. It's a good thing. But that's what's going on. Okay, and the concept of the menu is just draw triangles. I've just been drawing a lot of triangles and telling people that it was a game. Okay, but it's just a lot of triangles. You know, it will be funny actually. When these triangles are drawn, there's a little computer program that's applied to every single pixel on the screen to determine what color that triangle should be. And you know what's funny? You can go in here and you can go into what they call the fragment shader, this thing that handles that. And I can say, how about in the color, we'll take the old color and multiply it by 0.0001 so it's ignored, and then I'll add a 3-component vector composed of 1.0, 1.0, 1.0. Oh, I guess it needs to be a 4-component vector. Okay, 1.0, 1.0, 1.0. And you know what? It's going to make everything on the screen turn solid white. Isn't that interesting? It's the program that defines the color of every pixel on the screen. Except for particles. That's true. So particle effects actually have another similar program. It's a little bit more complex to handle some of those particle animations and try to make them fast. But you know what? That's in here too. FS particles, you see that? You can do the same exact thing, 0.001. And this one, you know what? We can make it red. Think about that. You can make every particle red. Did you ever think about that? Now all the particles are going to be red squares, and the rest of the geometry is going to be solid white. How about that? How about that? Okay, Warsmash is that. It's me drawing triangles in the computer and telling people, look what I did. I made it look like Warcraft by drawing a lot of triangles. Okay, and so the point I'm trying to make is, you can make a video game, you can make whatever you want. Okay, you know how I set this up? You know how I got here? Is from a libgdx tutorial. It's not even hard, okay? Literally, I'm using libgdx game engine. Just go on your internet search and just type in libgdx project setup, okay? And just get the set. I think it's this one. I don't know. No, that looks kind of fake. Download the tool from here. libgdx bad logic setup. Privacy error, not private. That's very unfortunate. Source and document. This is like the real libgdx site. libgdx offers a setup tool. Okay, here we go. Download the setup tool. I don't know why. It's a weird URL. But anyway, here we go. Here's the setup tool. Okay, literally, they give you a setup tool. It does setup, and you can make a game. What do you want to call it? What do you want to call your game? Why don't I call it Big Money, man? Because a lot of people care about money in their games. I don't personally, but You could, if you want to. And you can give it some kind of name. Maybe you're going to call it bigmoneymoneyman.com. I don't know. That might already exist. So we're going to call it bigmoneymoneyman Retera.game. You know? Retera money game. Okay, and it wants to know an Android SDK. You know why? Because it'll make your game cross-compatible with a phone by default. You don't need that. That's a waste of time. If you're trying to do like I'm doing, don't bother with that. Don't do it. Just pick some kind of output folder where we're going to put your game. I don't think download/test is a very good place to put my game. I like to put it somewhere better. Let's put it, I don't know if you guys can even see this, but let's put it in repos/moneyman game. Okay, we'll just do something like that. And you click generate, okay, and it generates a game project for you. Okay, that is where Warsmash came from. Okay, I'm just using libgdx. I'm just drawing triangles. And so, why would anyone be upset about this? Why would anyone care whether this got cease or desisted? Okay, it doesn't matter. Just, if you want to make a game, make a game. You can do that. Okay, so, Money Man game. Okay, now I've created that. How do I open it? That's a great question. There are multiple different code editors you can use to open this, but one of the most popular ones would be IntelliJ IDEA. It is. It's fairly popular. It looks like I already had some other project open in this. We don't want to deal with that right now. We want to open something else. So let me just open. Okay, you don't read the tips. It's a waste of time. Let's see. We just want to go to Money Man game. Just push OK on that. You trust the project. Open it up, and it'll open Money Man game. Okay, and look at that. Look at that. It's already open. Okay, and you can basically just run it. If you go over here to Gradle and you click this like elephant execute task and you type in run. Okay, we just run Money Man game. Okay, it's gonna do that. It's gonna do that. It's gonna run Money Man game. If you want to make a game and make money off of it, okay, why are you horsing around with Warcraft? Look at that. Look at that. Big money, man. This is a game. Okay, this is a game. This is the same technology. Okay, it's basically the same technology as Warsmash. You want me to prove it right now? Okay, look at this. This Money Man game is in a file called Desktop Launcher. Okay, Retera Money Game. This is what it is right here. Surely there's like some way to zoom this in. I guess not. Okay, but let me. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I am going to actually reduce my screen resolution so you guys can see me better. I know people really hate it when they can't see what I'm doing. Okay, they really do. Sorry, so I just gotta change the screen resolution. There we go. Okay, great. So now this is probably much easier for you to see. Obviously, NVIDIA hates me and says my resolution is too small. But look at this. I've got a desktop launcher thing, okay? Big Money Man. And you can set the title of your game's window on the screen. Maybe I want to call it Big Money Man X because it's like the new version or something. And I just clicked on this play button now. I don't know if you saw that, but there's this, now up here it turned into a repeat play. Look at that, Big Money Man X, okay? This is a play button up here. It just plays Big Money Man. Okay, great. That's what it does. But if you look back at Warsmash and go to the desktop launcher, Warsmash has the same thing. That's the point I'm trying to make here, okay? It's the same stuff. It started out the same. It's got some test code. It prints out like you ran it as soon as you run the Warsmash and some of this other weird stuff. And today it's having some kind of fit with errors that weren't there before. We'll fix that later. But the main point being, it's there, okay? It's the same idea. I added some stuff. I was like, oh, well, what if you give it a command line argument -window? I want it to be full screen. You know what? You don't need to do that. You can go to Money Man game and you can just say config.fullscreen mode true and just make Money Man full screen. What is this? Oh, I guess it needs. Really? I can't just say full screen? That's pretty dumb. Yeah, alright. I think, so, Sometimes libgdx updates their APIs, and apparently .fullscreen equals true isn't a thing anymore. They want you to choose what resolution you're going to run on. So why don't we just say display mode? What is it? Get display modes. So just get the auto suggest to do this stuff for you. Okay, GDX graphics. Get display mode. No, I don't know. That's not it. Display mode. Maybe this one. Alright, we gotta find, if you control click it, it'll jump in, it'll tell you how to get one of these graphics display mode. No. Okay, I'm surprised they don't have like an auto suggest on this. I guess you can just make a new display mode. And then what? Width and height. Okay. So let's say I want 1280 by 720. 60 refresh rate. I don't know. Bits per pixel. What is that? 16 bit per pixel. I don't know what it's supposed to be. No. Apparently we're not allowed to create these. Okay, we gotta find usages of this thing. Anyway, alright. Apparently they made this harder to auto-suggest than it used to be. It used to just be full screen equal true. I don't know why. Like, can I ask the configuration for display modes? Oh yeah, okay, here we go. Get display modes. Number 0. So I can just tell it to use whatever's like the 0th base display mode. There we go. That's what it was. I knew one of these classes has some function for that. And you know what? Look, now Money Man game is full screen, just like Warsmash. Okay. And you get the same screen lag when I close and open it. It's the same kind of technology. It really is. It really is. And it's the same idea. We're just drawing shapes, triangles, things in a graphics, in a graphing program, really, a 3D graphing program. Okay, so if you want to make a game, just do it. Just make your dreams come true. Just go out there and get a game engine like libgdx and make what you want to make. So that's kind of the moral of the story. Like, is Warsmash a hoax? Not really. The videos I've created and put on YouTube, those are real. I did what I was doing. But it could be a hoax for you because you don't need it. Either you're somebody who wants a better Warcraft, in which case you better start talking to Blizzard, or else you're somebody that wants to make a game. And if you want to make a game, there are better and easier technologies out there to do that than Warcraft 3 map editor, even if you want to make an RTS game. That's just how it is, right? Some people wonder why we can't have it like the old days where everybody uses Warcraft 3 World Editor. The reason they don't is because we have something better now. We have these better things. You can make a game. You can get one of these game engines and just spin up a window, and then you can sell it. There was that Android button. You want to make an app? You can make an app on libgdx. It's not very hard. You could make a game in a day or two. I used to make these games and this kind of thing where maybe like once a week or once every couple of days I'd make a new little 2D game with some characters and some fun. I used to be doing that all the time. It's not hard. So if you're thinking that, oh no, something really bad is going on with Warsmash, okay, it doesn't matter. Like, it really, really doesn't matter. Because if you want to make something, just make it. Okay? So, there you go. There you go. That's my chill and chat for today. Although it is not expressly true, I offer you the comedic phrase, Warsmash is a hoax.